Hello and welcome to my podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, where I, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, discuss, chat and hypothesize on all things from fatherhood, marriage, comedy and everything else in between. From time to time, there will be special guests, but mostly it's going to be me and some regular contributors, including my main squeeze, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan, aka the wife. So sit back, relax and enjoy Conversations with Cornelius. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius. I'm your host, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan, and I am joined today on the couch in the good room by the queen of my life, Noelle Patricia O'Sullivan ní Maracu. The crowd go wild.
Hey.
Hey.
Good morning, Cornelius. How are you?
Bon matin, mon chéri, ça va et toi?
Oh yeah, I was thinking about that actually. Are you going to brush up on your French?
What for?
For Paris?
Oh, for Gay Paris?
Mm-hmm.
I'd want to start brushing up on it because we're going in about 2 or 3 weeks, are we?
Less than 2 weeks now.
Yeah, so no. You heard the extent of it there now. S'il vous plaît, and then if you know the person, it's s'il te plaît. You put in now LT instead of the whatever the original thing is. But no, I'm not brushing up on it at all, and I hope to get by without having to speak a word of French when I'm over there. The only thing that I want to find when I go to France is I want to find a dispensary where we can get cannabis.
Oh right, straight into
the cannabis, so that I can be baked for my few days away on our beautiful holiday in Paris for a couple of days. That's the only thing that's bothering me about. We must find our passports as well.
I found them.
Do you?
I just, I knew we had them and I knew they were in date, but I just put my hand on them and we have them.
Mighty. Welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Cornelius, Noelle.
Thanks for having me, Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan.
I haven't seen you since
5 seconds ago.
Just before when we were setting up. What you do all weekend? Sure, I know. I was with you every fucking second of it, almost. We're in the good room and we've got the lights on today. Now we're after buying some lights to try and illuminate
Our radiant faces.
Our radiant faces. We're 2 minutes in and you're yawning already.
It. It's my first time sitting down all morning.
It's only 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm up since 7.
Yeah, that's 4 hours. That's not a long. That's 3 hours. That's
it's
even
4 hours because it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You can't be on podcasts. It's very
not. That wasn't even in the sound. It was because it was just on my lips. Kind of. It was when I murmured.
This is being videoed.
I know. Yeah, but sure.
Look,
they might have just thought I was like.
All right. Okay. You're motorboating yourself, is it? Guys, just to let you know, we're in the Cork Opera House on September the 4th. Tickets are absolutely crawling.
Yeah.
I think we have about 12 tickets sold.
Good solid 12.
Yeah, there is. We do know that there's a lady from America after buying 2 tickets for herself and her partner. And they're coming from Georgia in America. Katie, shout out to Katie. We find that very weird. We find that extremely weird.
But we're grateful for it.
We're really grateful for it, Katie. But we're finding your behaviour exceptionally weird. Now, we're not saying we don't like it, but we're finding it weird. We're new to it. So Katie's a listener from Georgia in America, one of the southern states. She found this podcast through a reel from Chris Kent. He put up some stand-up. Then she started following Chris Kent. And then Chris Kent and myself and Sinead Quinlan were doing a podcast last year. So then through that reel, she found Chris's podcast and then was introduced to me on the podcast. And then when that podcast finished, she had followed myself and Sinead. And obviously I was promoting my own podcast. And then started listening to our podcast, Conversations with Cornelius, and has become one of them and one of our biggest fans and patrons. And we love you, Katie, but we are still weirded out by the fact that you've bought 2 tickets to come to see us in the Cork Opera House. Not the front row, the second row, right in the centre. I've looked. I'm freaked. Like, are you the American baby reindeer? Because if you are, I
Buy 12 tickets.
Exactly. Buy the whole auditorium out, Katie. But we're just weirded out by it. It's just because
I think weirded out is probably the wrong word.
Is it? I
Um,
don't know. I'm weirded out by it because I've never had that kind of a. Do you know, I do gigs all over Ireland, and you'll see people and they'll be like, "Oh, you're from Ballyclod, Fergus Ahern, or Jesus Christ, your wife's from Kerry." Do you know what I mean? We don't know you at all, Katie, or anything at all And
but should that's happened all over the place, really?
it has.
Not.
It's amazing, by the way.
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
amazing
I think you
now.
need to probably put that point in.
Weird
too.
it isn't. Weird it is not.
That's what I mean. As in, it might be considered like.
I know. I just can't find the adjective to describe the. I'm finding it's unusual. That's like.
But I think you're personally finding it unusual. Is it? Do you know what I mean? As in.
Just spilled some coffee on my cock.
Coffee cock.
Coffee cock. Do you want
Cock coffee.
Do you want to taste it and see what it's like? We could.
No, you're
brand it and sell it to the masses.
No, I already know it won't sell.
What do you mean it won't sell? It will sell.
Coffee flavoured cock or cock flavoured coffee?
I think cock flavoured coffee would sell better than coffee flavoured cock, yeah. Because you'd be selling coffee that just tastes like cock. It probably wouldn't be a great seller.
No, I think you'd be better off with the coffee tasting cock. Like if you could get a serum that you put on your cock to make it taste like coffee.
Into my cock.
On it, like.
On
probably
it.
work for me, I suppose. Anyway.
Yeah, Jesus Christ almighty, I'd buy that. I'd lather it on.
I put on my serum
Babe.
there, babe. I'm there putting on
What are you
my
putting on the kettle for, babe? I'm after lathering up the lad. Suck away on that there for yourself.
Oh,
Would there be caffeine in it? There'd be caffeine in the ejaculatory substance.
Oh, stop. Is there?
What? Is there what? Is there caffeine in semen?
Yeah.
No, there isn't.
I was wondering. I was
There
like,
isn't.
there wouldn't be, yeah. No.
There absolutely.
No. I thought just maybe there was like some sort of natural alternative that comes through or something. It's definitely not endorphins anyway.
Well, if my semen, you love coffee, so if my semen tasted like coffee, you'd be fucking. Anyway, how are you getting on, lads? You're keeping well? Katie, fair play to you. You're very welcome to the podcast. We love you, Katie Long. She's a nurse from Georgia. She's coming to the live podcast in...
But she's using it as part of her affirmations, isn't it? She's going to visualise it and try and make it happen. That's the plan, which is pretty cool, because if that came to fruition then, that's pretty cool, because it's literally, she's like, I'm making it happen.
Yeah. She is a patron as well, and we get a message from Katie every week, and they're very welcome, Katie, very welcome, and you're very welcome. I am just not used to this type of attention, because it's attention from afar, do you know what I mean? So, and we love you, and we're looking forward to meeting you on the night in the Cork Opera House, if you can manage to make it all the way from Georgia. So what she has done is she has bought 2 tickets, and she has said that she is adopting the manifestation vibe that I'm always talking about on this podcast, where thoughts become things, and you're just trying to write reality, into existence through your thoughts and your actions. So she has thought about it, and she has put action into it by buying 2 tickets.
Yeah.
Now all she has to do is pack her bags, and her husband has to pack his bags and fly on over. And I'll tell you what now, Katie, and I'll be straight and honest with you, we'll definitely take a photograph with you afterwards.
You'll go all out, Connie, will you?
We'll go all out. But, so we're going to start off today's episode. Come to the show in the Opera House. Tickets are on sale at the Cork Opera House. And also, if you like this podcast, sign up to our Patreon. That's
all the admin done, is it?
How would you sign up to the Patreon? Good question, Noelle. You sound very like me there. You just go to the link in the description of this particular podcast and you'll find it there. Or just type in Patron Conversations with Cornelius into Google and that'll take you there.
Yes.
As well. And it's for less than the price of a $5, and you can go back on, over a year's worth of podcasts. Loads of podcasts. Over 100, I think, now at this stage.
I'd say so.
Yeah. And just do that now. That'll be great for us.
Do that there now. Put that on your list for your Monday jobs.
And I'll tell you now, Katie, if you were any good, you'd be fucking signing up all the rest of the Georgians over there in America.
Get a few more of your relatives to join up.
Yeah, get them all signed up to the Patreon, so that we can buy food. So we can put some money into our new business idea, which is cock-flavoured coffee, that I think we're going to...
No.
We'll start it.
Coffee-flavoured cock. Yeah.
You see, not everybody sucks cock all the time, but people drink coffee every day.
But who wants cock-flavoured coffee?
But there's more people out there that drink coffee than suck cock on a regular basis. So the chances are...
But don't you think every man would buy the like, I suppose there's probably flavoured...
there's gay men that love sucking cock. There's straight women that love sucking cock. They might love coffee-flavoured cock.
But you're still looking at the coffee... You're still looking at the coffee-flavoured... The cock-loving coffee drinkers.
The cock-loving coffee drinkers. So what are you going to give them?
That's what you're saying.
Oh, no, I'm saying that we invent a coffee
that tastes like
that's
cock.
Cock-flavoured.
Yeah, but then it's probably you still have to like coffee if you want to drink it.
So already there's a population out there that like coffee.
Yeah.
And then there's different types of coffee at the moment, isn't there? There's Americanos, there's lattes, there's some people put sugar into their coffee.
Would you not actually? Do you know what though?
Stir it with your dick. We just have to. We make regular coffee. I'm inside in the kitchen with my cock and I'm stirring it. Now,
that is a vision that nobody needs.
It has to be cold, otherwise my
iced coffee. You're already reducing because they only sell during the summer. So
it's niche, but we'll add it on. We'll tack it on. It'll be 15 euro for a cup of my cock flavoured iced coffee.
You should try that on Dragon's Den. I'd say. Give that a go.
I'd give them, what would I give them? I'd give them 3%. They'd all scoff at that. Then they'd be asking me for my sales. I'd be like, well,
they'd be asking
there's no sales
size
yet.
Of your penis.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It shrink. Well, if it's going to be iced coffee now, there's going to be a lot of shrinkage. Trending topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan. Hashtag Epstein.
Epstein, he's back trending again. Does that fella ever not trend, I wonder?
Jesus Christ almighty, he's dead now, the bollocks.
Yeah, how's he still trending? But anyway, he...
I don't know how he's still trending.
I know.
He was trending this morning anyway.
I don't know anything new about him, but he reminds me of, it's the show we're watching at the moment, Succession.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know the way that's in?
He's like a handler, like what was he?
No, but like...
high finance. Yeah, Succession is brilliant.
Yeah. But I'm thinking actually more of Harvey Weinstein as well. He was the movie producer.
Yeah.
Like in Succession at the moment, there's all this old sexual harassment cases coming to light.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm like, which one came first? I must check it up.
Succession or the
Weinstein case, because like all the Weinstein stuff was all there, was known, it just hadn't come out. So you'd wonder, what was Succession written? Because Succession is out a good few years, like, isn't it?
I don't know.
We're only catching up on it. There's about 6 or 7 series.
We're on the second. Is there?
I think there is.
Brilliant.
Yeah, maybe not. I think it's
brilliant, because we're on season 2 of Succession, and it took a couple of episodes to kind of get into it. About 3 episodes to really kind of go, okay, they were establishing characters. But I'll tell you, the world of high finance and like
wealth,
it's bloody disgusting. Like it's
class.
But it is class at the same. Well, it's class being on the boats and then the helicopters and then the nice houses.
Yeah, but then you see the kids are so fucked up.
They're so fucked up. They're all fucked up, and they're fucking. Like, they're all trying to please their dad all the time, and they're all looking...
He's the powerhouse, like...
Yeah, it's epic watching, but I don't know if that's got anything to do with Jeffrey Epstein, but sure, do you know what? We'll move on from it. Hashtag cheese.
Cheese,
Cheese is trending as well. What's your favourite type of cheese?
What is my favourite type of cheese? I would have said, do you know, for a long time I would have said, brie. But I never buy brie. You never actually...
Deep fried brie.
Yeah.
With that red currant, is it red currant?
Yeah.
Red currant sauce.
Red currant jelly type thing, but it's a sauce, really.
Could we invent a cock flavoured cheese?
But some
cheese fucking
already tastes. I
had a cheese
Parmesan and all.
Where did I have a fucking cheese there in the last couple of months? And it was honestly like fucking socks, Stilton or some shit like that.
Yeah, well, if you have a blue cheese or whatever,
you nearly get a stroke eating it, like, you know.
Yeah.
It's fucking.
But you know, we never buy brie, and I could probably make deep fried brie, or even like brie on a.
Could you make deep fried brie in the air fryer?
You'd suddenly be all about the air fryer then.
Well, I'm with you with the brie, the deep fried brie. Sometimes when I go out,
you love that.
I love it as a starter. I genuinely do. It's lovely, and sometimes they have camembert as well.
Yeah, well, that's a stronger version of brie.
It's a stronger version. It's not the same. It's not as nice. You put up with it, but you have to smother it with the red currant sauce.
For you anyway. Yeah, I don't mind it. I like it. But I suppose one of a big we'd be a big fan of the cranberry cheese here.
Yeah, that's lovely as well. That's kind of like a milky, soft, crumbly cheese with cranberries infused in it. It's, what's it called, Worcestershire or something like that?
Yeah.
Not to be confused with Worcestershire sauce.
I think you might be pronouncing them the exact same. Worcester, isn't it?
Worcester, is it?
It's the sauce.
Is it? Or anyway, we like the crumbly one with the red little dots in it.
The cranberry.
Yeah. And you've made some salads with that recently. It's lovely.
Yeah.
I would probably have to say my go-to cheese, my daily cheese, is cheddar cheese.
Well, you're a big fan. Good old cheddar cheese.
Good old fucking Irish milky cheddar. Especially when I was on tour this year, you were making me sandwiches, and it would be pretty much always the same. Bread and butter. 3 or 4 cuts.
Never butter.
You never put any butter in? Well, if I was making it myself, I'd be putting the butter in. I'd be more of a butter man, but mayo is nice as well.
Just saying your sandwiches for the last year that you've always said were lovely.
Yeah, they were lovely.
I never ever put butter in a sandwich, so you always compliment my sandwiches. So maybe you need to stop with the butter.
You need to up your game. Well, if I was making a sandwich, I'd always make it with butter. But I think I know what you.
But I've seen your sandwiches, Con, so I'm not taking any sandwiches out of life sale.
What?
What? Remember one time I saw you and you were making a sandwich, and I was like, "What in God's name is going on here?" I can't even remember what it was, but it was an atrocity.
What do you mean it was an atrocity? I'm a brilliant sandwich maker. I make a lovely sandwich.
Are you for real?
I do make a lovely sandwich. If I was making just a plain cheese sandwich now, but obviously I'd like a nice bread, right? Let's assume we have a nice bread.
Yes.
Let's assume it's an unhealthy scenario, right? It's a crusty white loaf sliced. We get it inside in Centra every now and then if we're feeling a little bit devilish.
The one in Lidl is lovely too, though.
The one in Lidl is nice as well. Actually, the bakery in Lidl is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Get that home. Hopefully, if the butter is soft in the dish. If the butter is not soft in the dish, you have to microwave it. When you have to microwave the butter, immediately it takes the glass off the sandwich. It does for me, it takes the glass off the sandwich. But if the butter is soft in the dish and it just goes onto the bread without interrupting the actual sandwich, the bread, the consistency of the bread, it's fucking sexual. It's unreal. And then you just spread that across and then cut maybe 3 slices of cheddar, put the cheddar on, and then a sprinkle of salt, a sprinkle of black peppercorn, bang, cut in half, cup of tea. Oh, lovely. That's the perfect cheese sandwich. That is the perfect cheese sandwich. Now, mayonnaise, I know why you're using mayonnaise.
Why?
You don't want to use the microwave.
No, I just never put butter in a sandwich. I put mayo and spring onion and cheese and a bit of relish.
Oh yeah, that's lovely actually.
Salt and pepper. That would be your basic cheese. That's a basic cheese sandwich in my mind.
Like that's an upgrade on mine, alright, to be fair. The spring onion is a fucking... if I lived to be 99, I wouldn't think of putting spring onion into a sandwich. And it's always a surprise. It's always a pleasant surprise. You're like... What's that? Jesus Christ almighty. It's a bit of spring onion. And sometimes you put a bit of regular onion as well into the cheese sandwich. Actually, I take it all back. She's a better sandwich maker than me. When it comes to cheese sandwiches, Noelle's the woman.
And that's the basic sandwich, but that's the one that you went out the door with every day.
Yeah, lovely. Yum. What's your favourite cheese? Brie, you were saying?
Yeah, and I've forgotten about it, but I think the cranberry cheese is probably my favourite one.
Do you know what I like as well? And we don't have it that much. It started to creep in now a little bit into the house, but I really do like it. Feta.
We'd always have a thing of feta in the house, nearly. But we wouldn't use it all the time.
We wouldn't be heavy users of feta now. Come on.
But it's harder to use, like.
Well, it's nice in a salad. It's kind of crumbly again then as well. I do like it. Is it made from goat's cheese? Goat's milk? Feta? Yeah. Apparently it's very good for you.
Is
feta.
it?
Apparently feta is one of the best cheeses for you out there. Have
we talked enough about cheese, do you think?
#onpost. Katie, on post for you who is an American and wouldn't understand what on post is. On post is our post office over here, on post. So #on post.
Oh, I know why that's trending.
Oh, aye.
Because aren't they going to do like one of the new stamps, which aren't stamps? How will I manage without stamps? I won't have any stamps in my wallet anymore. But aren't they going to honour the athletes?
That's exactly it. The European medalists. So they're honouring the European medalists with some sort of a stamp. That's not a stamp. It's a printing thing, is it? Tell me about your love affair of stamps. Tell me, when did you first get interested in stamps? What turned you on
I was never interested in stamps, like.
Yeah.
They're one of the things that I think I'm in control in my life if I have stamps in my wallet.
Yeah.
I think it probably wasn't until I'm hoping it wasn't until I think it's probably a little bit early, but I think my late 20s I was like, oh, I have a stamp here.
Everything's all right. Whereas I'd look in my wallet now, if I saw a couple of €100, I'd be like, okay, that's much better than a stamp. But like a stamp, how did it make you feel? Like, how did it make you feel in control?
Just if I need a stamp and I'm like, oh, I'll get my stamps there. Look at her, she's organised. Look at her.
She's organised. She doesn't have to go to the post office. She
has stamps here. There's just these little things like that.
Time savers.
No, and it's not. You just have them in your own head. Like I can't even think now what mine are now. On a morning, if the lunch boxes are all washed from the day before.
Yeah.
That's a
little control.
I've already, the day is off to a really good start, that they're already done, and like if they're not done for some reason, it's like, oh Jesus. But it's
no, I get it. There's little things like, I'm the same with my book inside. If I can get the week sorted, written out what's happening this week on a Sunday, it clears my mind for the whole week. And then if I'm just going through my books, trying to get on top of my taxes, once I get on top of them every week, it clears my mind. I'm like, okay, that's what came in, that's what went out. Here are my invoices. Attach them all together, put them into the desk. Bang! It's a little bit of clarity for the head. A stamp does that for you. A stamp.
I don't need to know anymore because of the online thing. But
yeah, stamps are dead, lads. You heard it here first on Conversations with Cornelius.
Breaking news.
Let's get into the body of this week's podcast, Noelle.
Yes, Cornelius.
That concludes Trending Topics with
Trending Topics with Cornelius Patrick O'Sullivan.
It has been concluded. So we are, we've had a bloody busy weekend. By the time you hear this weekend will be 2 weeks away, because this isn't this week's episode, this is next week's episode. But tell us about Saturday. Saturday you had a blitz. We're dead from blitzes in this house.
Dead from blitzes. Pure GA house now.
And Hunter now is about to start the GA soon.
Tonight.
So he's starting tonight. So soon there'll be Hunter, Harvey and you all playing blitzes. And me in the middle then, playing with myself.
Someone may as well be doing it.
Coffee flavoured coffee. Trying to get my cock flavoured coffee right.
Trying to get the flavouring right.
I can't collect you.
You'll have to test it on yourself.
I'll be. Oh, that's rotten. That's rotten.
I'll come home.
Taste
from
that there, babe. Have a taste
kitchen.
off that there and tell me what you think of it.
So Saturday morning. All the laugh though was the prep. Was the prep for
so what was on Saturday morning now? So
there was a Munster blitz.
A Munster blitz.
A
Munster blitz.
Yeah.
In Mallow for the mothers and others.
Yeah.
And it was on Saturday.
Yeah, there was 9 pitches and there was...
How many pitches were there then?
5 teams, because we played 5 matches, so that would be 5 teams per
say that again now?
Per pitch.
Per pitch, so 45 teams there. So
yeah, well, like, so we had 2 teams in, and a couple of places had 2 teams.
Okay.
Some places had 2 teams in, so.
But still, 45 teams competing, even if there was 2 teams per thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
what time did it start at?
We were there for about 10:15, but like some people, like some of our team had been there from about 9:30 or 9 o'clock, I'd say, putting up the canopy.
Oh, right, okay, and stretching and taking it and taking things seriously, like most blitzes now. Like, you know, you hydrated well, did you?
Well, we've started by it's a very delicate balance with the hydrating.
Okay, tell me.
Because we're all mothers.
Okay.
So you have to get the balance right between hydrating and pissing yourself. That's basically the balance, like.
So, what you mean pissing yourself? Because you've had babies.
As some people said, the floor is gone, like you'd be on about the pelvic floor, and someone said, no, the floor is caved in.
The floor is lava.
The floor is lava, yeah. The floor is caved in. It's just pelvic. That's what the woman said. It's just pelvic. There's no pelvic floor. It's just pelvic. So this was the balancing act about, and originally, so the laugh was, do we need anything else? And there was like all, and
so let me ask questions, right? Okay. Because I think you enjoy it so much. Sometimes you get excited, right? So you started Mothers and Others. We talked about this in the podcast a few months ago. How long are you there now?
Oh, I don't know.
I'd say definitely 2 months anyway.
Oh, 3 or 4.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
So you started your fitness journey at the start of the year, started doing running, and then the Mothers and Others started, which is an initiative for mothers and people of a certain age who want to get back into the community and back involved in the GA and playing football and meeting and socialising and having something to do in the community and not always just taking your kids to matches.
Yeah, and doing something for yourself.
And doing something for yourself, trying to find yourself. So there's a gang of you that go down. How many went to the first training session?
There's usually anything from 30 to 30 to 40. I think 38 was the highest.
That's
we've
incredible.
Had at training. So anything from 25 to 30.
Whereas sometimes with the men, we'd be all out to get 14 training, 15 training.
But the thing is, there's 50 something registered.
There's 50 odd people registered. So you've been going down, you've been reacclimatising yourself to football.
Yeah.
And how has that been going? Tell me about a typical training session.
We'll give out about running. We'll have the chats. Brian will have to settle us back into the training.
Brian's the trainer.
We'll have to settle us back into the training, and then we'll do something running or warm up anyway.
Right.
And then we'll do some drills.
Okay.
And like where you're back to basic skills, like really.
Yeah.
And learning how to play the game properly. And some people, and it's great because some people out there have already done loads of training, been trainers but never played.
Okay.
So they have the knowledge, but they're improving their skill as well.
Okay.
You know, but it is you need both. Like,
you do.
And then so that's kind of how. And then we'll have a match.
And then you have a match, and then like most people who go training then for sport, you'd finish training, you'd cool down, you just come home. Is it?
Well, you might go for a little one.
A little one what?
Little one drink, like
a
afterwards.
Drink. Is it just the one? Is it?
Yeah, 1 or 2.
1 or 2. Okay. So everything you've done then has been undone in the pub. Perfectly. Right. So and then you started doing blitzes. This is a brilliant initiative now.
So this is our second blitz.
You had your first one at Glanfest, which we talked about a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And like the difference, but you could see it every week at training as well. We are improving, like, and then the difference I just still don't know did we win any match on Saturday, like, but we definitely
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
So that was a few weeks ago. No, but I just thought we were going to talk about Saturday.
Yeah, but we're getting to and giving a kind of a build up to it.
Oh, right.
You know, I'm just trying to get, like, there's people that will want to know the build. So this is what I was doing, right? This is what happens in my life now. She criticizes every single thing I do, all right? So what I was doing was I was building up. So I was giving people the story. You got a little bit fit. Then you went with the initiative. You joined Mothers and Others. There was a bit of a community thing. You're enjoying it. You're going for a few drinks. And then you lost your first blitz over in Glanfest and you weren't that great. You knuckled down. You went back training again. And then you were into this big massive blitz that was in Carragoon, in Mallow. And this is where I was going with this.
Oh, sorry.
I know what I'm doing on this podcast. Okay. Stop criticising me. Okay? Take it away and talk away there. So anyway, if you let me do my job. So then you had this blitz on Saturday, which was an annual thing that they did.
Yeah.
You were showing me videos
from last year
of the racket that goes on after the blitz. Basically, it's just a massive party afterwards for everyone, right? Yeah. So talk me through Saturday morning, getting ready and going packing and going and all that, and what you put into your bag, and explain the scenario that was in the house with the boys and me. I was working the night before, and just give a little snapshot of that. So
Saturday morning really started Friday night, if that makes sense, because
it doesn't, but go on.
Because I was doing stuff Friday night to make Saturday morning easier, because I was leaving at 10:15 and you had been working Friday night, and then you were meeting me in town later on Saturday, so I needed to be ready to go to Cove after after the blitz. Like, there was a lot on Saturday that isn't a normal occurrence in this house. I don't normally go to blitzes. We don't normally go to Cove. We don't normally have other people minding our kids in the middle of the day and switch over of kids, like. So it was all systems go prepping. And I was like, it was funny because after preparing the kids for going on their school tour, I felt like I was going on my own school tour, heading to the blitz. But then it was like, what do we need to bring? And it was like, you need to change your clothes now because it's going to be raining. Then you need to make sure you have enough change your knickers, because you just don't know why you might need to change your knickers. There's a number of reasons why you might need to change your knickers, Cornelius.
The pelvic,
lack of floor. But so that was the whole hype going on about what we needed to bring and the drink. And
what did you pack in your bag now, as a matter of interest? Football boots, I suppose.
Football boots, football socks, my gear, all the gear.
Had you the gum shield?
My gum shield, you had to have the gum shield in. And you'd want it for the matches.
Did you fill up a water bottle?
Of course I did,
Did you? Very good. And had you anything else in the bun?
I might have had a few bottles of Corona.
A few bottles of Corona, okay.
But the handiest was the can. Lots of the girls had cans, actually, which was very handy, of like
vodka.
They had naggins of vodka. There was everything. But
like, I'm teeing this up because I think it's endearing and funny. Like, I am actually like.
But you know what? But all that was going on, right? And all this laugh was going on. But in the middle of it, we were all very nervous as well about playing the matches, which is kind of funny too. Like, we were rocking on. We were arriving going, Jesus Christ. And enjoying the laugh, but still being nervous. Because it was, like, you'd be on about what are the Rebel Oak, isn't it? Is that the kids' matches that go on? Like, this was, like, and they're busy in Carragoon, like, but this was 20 times as busy, wasn't it?
It was. So I collected you from there, but I'll get to that in a minute. But when I did come in to collect you, I was like, oh my fucking God, this is like a county final.
It was like a
replay of a county final. There was nowhere to park. I was I had to snail in because there was loads of kids running around as well.
Yeah.
And there was just every single pitch was taken up, and there was people under. It was biblical.
Yeah.
The weather was biblical. It was like cats and dogs, big fat droplets of rain. And it was actually hard to see. I ended up watching a match thinking that Noelle was playing in it. And it wasn't the right match. It was a different match.
Yeah.
But go on anyway. You got to, I'll get to that in a minute. But
so, we arrived and you're like, Jesus, I'm a bit nervous about this. And the laugh was going on in the WhatsApp, but you were kind of going, like, I went in, I got a spin in, like, with one of the girls.
So you got collected here.
Yeah.
I had been working, And this is what I thought was hilarious, right? Is you had, like, I was trying to get you to describe your bag. Her bag was like
way down.
Like, it's totally different to if I was playing GA, like, I'd have my boots and I'd have my shorts in there and I'd have my towel in there and I'd have my shower gel in there. Do you know what I mean? I just thought it was funny. Like, there was like bottles of Coors like clanking inside in the bag. Like, I lifted up the bag. I was like, what the fuck is inside in this?
And the lounge, the camping chair, like
camping chairs to sit down and then fucking drink your beer. Like, it's just like. And I have to say, I think this is brilliant because it's really rewarding the women and bringing them, like, for years. Like, I see it myself, like, you know, even with you, like, I'm out working a lot of the time. You're carting the lads to all these matches, and back to training, a lot of tankless work and a lot of, you know, on the road stuff. Like, I know I do a fair share of it myself, but lately you've been doing a lot of it.
Yeah.
And traditionally, that's what has been the case. Women would have been taking their sons and daughters to matches. And it's kind of, this is our time now, because you, like, what I thought was hilarious, I was working the night before and I was in bed, I was tired, and you'd come up to me and the kids were wired because they were going on play dates. They were being collected at 1:30 in our house, and I was going from 1:30 in to collect Noelle, and then we were going from there onto a gig that I was doing that night. We'll get onto that in a minute. But, like, I had seen the bag and I'd felt the bag the night before. I was like, what the fuck is this? These girls are fucking mad. Like, these, but it wasn't just Killavullen, it's everyone.
Oh God, no.
Like,
we were reserved, not reserved is the wrong word, but we didn't drink till like the second last match.
Oh,
like,
fuck it, didn't she? Oh, I
we
take
arrived
it all back,
at
so you were reserved, yeah.
When we arrived, there was
What time of the morning would that have been now, about?
About 10:15. And
you took your time.
No, that was when when we were arriving, and we were nervous arriving, and then we up in the stand there was a couple of teams drinking, like, and it was like, what is, and like there was people in fancy dress, there was people playing the matches with tutus on, like, obviously with their proper gear underneath, but they could have been playing, and a lot of these ones you'd be deceived by thinking they're only there to take the piss because they're in fancy dress.
But once the ball is thrown up,
they're nearly the ones that are in it longer, that are into it and they're all committed, so they went with the fancy dress stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And had it planned. They'd been there last year, so they were there this year. They were going gung-ho.
I cannot stress this enough.
And then everyone did a warm-up together. I never told you this.
Go on, tell me this.
So, like, back over on one of the pitches, there was a woman up on the top of the hill doing a warm-up to all the teams, to music. Like,
to all the teams? To every single team that entered?
Most teams, yeah.
Okay. To what music?
I don't know. It was, one stage it was Cocktail Joe or whatever, but it was like jumping jacks and all of this. But it was the
Did you do that?
Yeah, we all did it. Like, it was the warm up before you got going. Like,
yeah, but see, these are all unusual things, because if you do a warm up in a man's match, it's like you would have all the lads together, and you're like, come on now, lads, focus in on it.
Yeah, like there's you have that, and everyone wants to score and everyone wants to win, but like, you get onto the pitch to play a match, and you're, where are you from? Oh yeah. And straight away if you're dealing with a team that are out to annihilate you or out to play a match. But everyone's out to play the match, like, but it's whether they're out.
It's just that's why I think it's great is there's no equivalent thing really for men. Men, like, even like, like I played junior B up until I was 37, 38, and even then it was just like, we hate these bastards.
Yeah.
Warming up with, like, like I played with Ballyclaw, I imagine warming up with Butterfront lads, I'd sooner fucking chop my head off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be the mentality. But this is the right mentality. It's fucking, do you know what? We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah.
We're bringing in the community. We're all having a few drinks. But you scuttled. I just want to just bring back the thing which I thought was hilarious, because I had the responsibility of minding the boys on Saturday morning, and I'd been working late the night before, and I had put down a long week of work, and I had another gig on Sunday. But I was delighted for you to be going off, But it was like, Noelle, you said you were leaving at 10, and I was kind of aware that I had to get up, but it was still like 20 to 10. I was like, I have 20 minutes left. Next thing I just heard, okay, I'm off, babe, my lift is here, and the door banged.
I nearly pushed Hunter in the door.
Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I felt like every housewife in Ireland in the 50s right up until the the recent times, where their husband was fucking off for the day.
Yeah.
And they were going off with the lads. And they were going drinking.
Now,
and
the
going
only
to football
difference
matches.
was now the two boys were dressed and fed. I know. But I was no. But what I'm saying is, I was able to run out the door like that because I had it already. Like, so
I know
in my
you
head.
did.
But I know what you must have been if I had stuff.
I'm only saying it was a bit like. I'm just saying it wasn't exactly like it, Noelle. I'm saying it was a bit like it. I got the crack out of it, and the boys were dressed and ready for road.
No, but what I'm saying is, if I needed you to be up, I would have been up to you going, right, Con, you need to come down now because they're going to hear at thing.
And I know that. I'm only saying why I found it funny. I'm only saying why I found it funny. I'm not questioning your brilliance as a mother. You're fantastic as a mother.
Yeah.
But like I just thought it was humorous. And then at 1:30, the boys were collected by our neighbour, and our neighbour was minding them for a couple of hours until our childminder was able to come in and mind the boys, because I was working and I had been given a hotel room in the place that I was working as a part of my part of my payment.
They could put you up.
They were able to put us up, and I was like, we used to love going to hotels.
Yes, yeah.
It was one of the things that we used to love doing in our past life when Noelle was making loads of money and I was able to live off it. It was one of the things that we used to love it, and like so every now and then when we do get the opportunity to go, we make it our business to do it. So the boys were collected at 1:30, and I went in to collect you at 2:00, and I was in there maybe about 20 to 2, and lads, it was just absolute organ. But see, this is the thing with women, I think, right? And this is kind of a men versus women thing. I think women, they're like this. You're so organised, because there was chaos inside there now.
Yeah,
it was absolute, but it was organised chaos.
Yeah, in fairness to Mallow, now they put on, or who it was Mallow, I presume.
It was Mallow, GA. Well, it was in their complex, but like I would even say the individual responsibility, like. Everybody had their own little canopies. You had your little seat. You had ye organised
there were sandwiches. There was
exactly like. Did you think? But men, like I'm taking the piss about you having the beers and stuff. But it was the foresight to say we'll have the beers. I'll need to sit down when I'm having a beer. Sure, it might rain. Let's bring a canopy. Look, I'll bring 4 pairs of knickers because of the pelvic, and then the rain, and then another match and no more. Do you know that kind of way? Whereas a man would run out the door, and I actually remember. I got a new pair of football boots, my first pair of football boots, when I was 9 years old, right? And we were playing a North Cork semi-final, and in the quarter-final I played in runners, and the trainer came up to my mum, we weren't wealthy at all, and said, is there any chance Connie'd be able to get an old pair of boots? And my mum nearly fell into the ground with embarrassment, right? But they were £9, $4.50 a boot, right? Which was a lot of money to us at the time, and my mum bought them for me. And she sat me down at the table, and she talked to me for about 40 minutes about how important it was that I looked after these boots, that I cleaned these boots, that I take care of these boots, that I put them into the bag when I'm finished, and I pack them in my bag. And don't forget about your boots. These are the only pair of boots you're getting now, and you'll have them until you're fucking 20. Do you know, that kind of way, even though your foot is growing? And I remember it blindly. And I remember going to Glantan, playing the match, the semi-final, and we won, and I came home without the boots. Right? And that would never happen to you, or to I just thought, I drove over, lads. There was little pockets scurrying around the place of little gangs of girls, like giggling,
women. And full on women though. I
saw women in their 50s, women in their 50s and in their 40s. I saw a woman. I don't know what club she was. Right, there was a green and gold top anyway, whatever club that was. There was 40 odd clubs, and she was walking across the road, and I was driving. And there was 2 friends with her, and she just took a little swig out of a naggin. She had the football shoes on. She was in her, I don't know how old she was, 40s or 50s, swig out of a naggin, and it was about fucking 1:00 in the afternoon, and it was belting down, and I was looking for you anyway, and I rang you then, and this is where you think you got a great laugh out of this.
I thought it was so funny, because, so we got drenched, like drenched. You played the match, got off, and you put a coat on, and it was just soaking from when we got there to when it finished. And but then, so I rang Connie going, where are you? I'll come meet you. Where are you? And he was like, sure, I'll drive up. I said, I'm by the complex at the minute, but I'll walk to where you are. And at this stage now, it was pelting down, and Connie was like, no, sure, babe, I'll come and meet you wherever you are. Like, you stay dry there. And I was like, if you only knew, like, that I was so soaked. I've never been so wet in my life, that it was so beyond.
Well, you have, like...
I'd say not. But, like, it was so beyond staying dry or being dry. It was like, you have no idea. But then I get what you were saying, that you thought, like, oh, I'd gone for... But I told you my last match was a quarter to the 2. But anyway.
Yeah, but I still would have thought that when you were texting me, because I've played in Mallow, like, you know, there's shower facilities there, that you would have... Like, that's what I thought. I thought you were having a shower. It doesn't matter anyway.
Yeah.
So
I just thought it was so far from the current state I was in, and you were only being kind, stay dry, but I was like, I am so beyond dry that with my chair on my back and my gear bag.
I picked her up anyway. She was like a fish. She was so wet. She was like, you were soaked wet. So much so that we actually came back to Killavullen again so that you could have a shower.
Yeah, and freshen up. And
get ready. And that was... And then, so you've this, look at for those of you watching on YouTube, right? Noelle has a phone here, and I don't know, it's starting to annoy me, that phone that you have, because it just like when you get a text or on a WhatsApp, it clicks up onto your phone. So I've never seen a phone to be buzzing it was like a vibrator. It was buzzing all fucking day long, because you'd left, obviously, and there was a kind of an after party, and you were like glued to WhatsApp all evening going, look at these girls there.
Yeah,
like,
so
give
it's
an
not
idea.
like, it wasn't like kind of an after party.
Okay.
It was a session of all sessions.
Yeah.
Like,
explain what went
I
on.
just left as the session started, in earnest, like, do you know, because
how many drinks did you get into before I collected you?
2 beers.
Is that all? Okay.
Yeah. So
not too bad.
But it was just really, for our team anyway, other teams, as I said, had started, but it was just starting, because it's kind of weighing it up between needing to go to the bathroom and actually playing a match. And like, I didn't want to, and a lot of us were in the same boat, we didn't want to get carried away and end up getting hurt. Like,
and that's very sensible.
That's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Like, we're already even like trying not to get carried away in training, that you get injured. Like, you have to pull back, and
sure.
I've definitely pulled back a lot. But now I want to up my fitness so I don't have to pull back. But I obviously know within reason or whatever.
Yeah.
But so it was just starting to get, the nerves were gone at this stage. Do you know, we were playing matches, we knew kind of what we were doing.
The adrenaline was in.
Yeah, and who was starting, you were coming off if you need to come off, or go on if you wanted to go on. Like, so it was very smooth by then. So it was, you were getting more chilled.
Yeah.
In a way, that was when it started to lift off too. So we left, and but that was just all the photos and stuff starting to come through of the night that was, as we headed off to a poetry evening.
So I was a guest speaker at a national poetry competition international poetry competition that was funded by the Arts here in Ireland, right? And I was asked to be a guest speaker at it. Now I do poetry in my stand-up, but it's like, you know, it's comedy It's not highbrow poetry. It's comedy poems, and that suit the narrative of whatever I'm speaking about. But anyway, long story short, I got booked for this off the back of a gig that I had done when I was doing support for Chris, and this was very highfalutin stuff altogether, and there was a lot of emails going back and forth and all this kind of stuff. And long story short, I was booked to do it. And as a part of the booking, they were putting me and my guest, my wife, up in the Commodore Hotel in Cove, right? So I had done a gig in the Commodore years ago. And the Commodore, and from my memory, was a very plain hotel, just at the edge of the town. You could walk into the town, and so it was like, I wasn't expecting anything special in terms of
kind of a standard hotel.
I was expecting it to be a very bog standard hotel from my memory of 12 years ago when I had done a gig down there. And but at the same time, like, we love hotels. Was something that we always loved to do, was to go away And anytime we got the opportunity to do it, we'll try and make it happen. So we'd organise a childminder. We had to get our neighbour to mind our boys for 2 hours before our childminder could get in. But then it had all coincided with Noelle's blitz as well. So there was fucking a lot of balls in the air.
Yes, yeah.
And I collected you, came back here and you had your shower. And before you knew it, you had gone from the mad bush drinking bures of the
Girls Gone Wild.
Girls Gone Wild vibe to when shall we three meet again? And thunder, lightning, or rain, when the hurly-burly's done and the battle's lost and won. Now that's Macbeth. That's actually a play, not a poem. See? But at the same time, that's the drift.
That's the idea, the vibe.
The vibe. So we rocked on down, got a great parking place, and we went in to get our key at reception. And as we were getting our key at reception, there was a bit of a mix-up between the two girls. And then one of the girls knew what was going on and the other girl didn't know what was going on. And the girl that knew what was going on said, "You've been upgraded." So we were like, "Oh, right, upgraded." You actually went, "Oh my God, upgraded," into the presidential suite, right? So I had to Google this yesterday when I came home. I wanted to see how much the presidential suite was, right? So it was €325 for a night in the presidential suite. And I've never stayed in a room quite like it.
Well, but for the room, that's actually reasonable enough.
I think it was reasonable enough. Considering you'd spend 300 quid anywhere for a room.
For a regular room.
For a regular room,
And I think I was expecting just we would be going and staying in a regular hotel room.
Yeah.
Like, you go in, bed, a kettle, that's it. Like, like a standard room.
Maybe a shower, no bath. Maybe a bath, no shower.
Yeah. Whereas
this place.
And the hotel itself is a lovely hotel. It's right on the sea. It's like a old style seaside family hotel.
Like an early 19th century, and it's family owned. I couldn't recommend this place more now. The Commodore Hotel down in Cove. There's no frills, but there is so much history inside there.
Yeah.
Jack Dempsey, a famous Irish boxer, stayed there. There's a homage to him inside there. And it's beautiful, but it has a modern twist as well.
Yeah, but then the modern twist came when we went upstairs, and there was this, when we got our upgrade, we'll say.
There was our own private lounge before you had to open our door.
It was like you went up the stairs and it was standard hotel, and then it was suite only residence. And you went in that door, and then it was like a total different hotel in a sense that it was all really modern, but still had all the high ceilings and like all that character, but it was totally done up. It's kind of like how I'd like this house to be, as in keep all the features,
but have it nice,
have it all done up.
Yeah.
And then
fix the skirting boards, for example. Let's not have cracks in the skirting boards.
But anyway, so even when we got the key and it was the president's suite, I was like, oh, this will be nice. But I wasn't expecting it to be anywhere as nice. You opened the door and there was this big TV area with 3 couches, and then you went in further and beautiful, massive, really comfy bed, more couches, another TV, an espresso machine, with muffins and biscuits laid out, and just with 2 big windows looking out onto the sea. And it was so fresh and modern then, but with the big high ceilings and all of that. And then they had like rituals, wash products like shampoo, conditioner and shower gel and stuff. You could have been, when you walked into the room, you could have been in the Europe, couldn't you?
You could have
been in the Hazel Manor, or you could have been in any of the 5-star. It was 5-star. It was a 5-star room.
It was a 5-star room in I think it's maybe a 4-star hotel, maybe a 3-star hotel. I'm not even sure.
It was a standard hotel.
But it's a gorgeous. It's so clean and so professional, and I love that it's family run. And you could tell that it was family run because it had that vibe. It didn't have that kind of corporate feel that you go into some hotels.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's very clinical. This is gorgeous. The Commodore Hotel, guys. If you're ever looking to go, on a day trip or an overnight trip somewhere, Cove is lovely. we walked around Cove. We got some food there. The cathedral is there. There's boat trips out to Spike Island. There's just a promenade there. It was lovely. But honestly, now this was great for us because we were expecting like a bog standard.
Yeah, just
thing.
a normal room.
Normal room.
So when we got that, then it was like, oh, we are away.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of like tagging up to that. I was like tagging along for Con's night gig. Oh, sure, right, I'll go, kind of vibe. And then I was like, oh yeah, no, this is actually.
All the while your phone is pinging here now with Bjor's fucking singing "Living on a Prayer" up on top of fucking tables.
Living the best life.
And like, in fairness, you have built a great old friendship with a few of the ladies that are over there, so you'd have enjoyed that as well. Like.
Yeah. It would have been good crack.
But you didn't have to come either. No, you did want to come. I have to say.
No, yeah. I didn't really feel like I was missing out.
Yeah.
You know, I enjoyed myself going, and I wasn't like sorry out leaving.
Yeah.
This was just our next step was going on
down to
this and going away for the night. It wasn't a chore at all to be going away. But the thing was, so I hadn't really thought about what we were going to, because the bay was busy. It
wasn't a comedy gig, like
it wasn't,
even though I did my comedy set.
Yeah, but I don't know what I was expecting, but it was a full-on poetry night, and like I can barely say the word poetry. Like my idea of the night was the wild crack that was going on back in Mallow.
Whereas when we walked in, we were met by the guy who had booked me. Rory was his name. And he put us sitting right up the front with the dignitaries. Like a recently elected politician to the European Parliament was sitting beside me.
Was that what he was?
That was the guy who was sitting directly beside me, but he left. He was a politician. And then there was like the chairman of the
tourism board or something, wasn't it?
He was the fellow who wears the chains. Do you know what are they called?
The Lord Mayor.
Lord Mayor of Cove, and his wife, who was a principal teacher, and then Rory's wife, who was the wife of the guy who was organising it, and then Noelle from the Mothers and Others. Yeah. Her knickers still wet.
Stop it! But it was like, and I was like, okay, and
but you were able to. This is the thing. You're able to fucking like. You can put you into any situation. And you were able to swim.
Yeah.
Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
Like, and swim gracefully, like.
No, I actually did it. I enjoyed his wife's company a lot, so it made it a lot easier. I'm
just saying there was the juxtaposition between the two worlds was vastly different.
Oh, that's the thing.
Everybody there was amazingly lovely, actually.
Yeah,
And the people that came to it were lovely, and there was a poetry winner who was the actual winner of the overall competition, who was from Charleville. Her name escapes me now at the moment. She had a brilliant poem about Sherry Trifle and her partner, and I got chatting to them afterwards, and I found it a fascinating night and an interesting night. But it's up my street, but like it was total poetry. It wasn't stand-up comedy, and like we did the 5-word challenge, which is where they give you 5 words and you have 15 minutes to write a poem using just those 5 words. And at one stage, I looked over at you and you were like, what the?
Well, at least the other wife didn't do it either. She didn't do it at all.
Yeah.
It was funny because she's in science as well. So she was like, I'm not doing this. And I was like, I'll give it a go, but I'm not calling it out. No way. I'll just pretend to be writing something. But then in fairness, the girl that called out her poem, the woman that called out her poem, it was amazing. And you're like...
Oh, so I wrote a poem, right? Okay. And one of the words was bean that you had to have, right? What were the words? Were wonderful, picture, behavior, and bean. And my last sentence was in my poem was, and then she went home and flicked the bean, right? And I was going to read this out, okay? And then Rory had asked this other woman to read her 5-word poem first of all, and I swear to God Almighty, it was unbelievable. I was like, I am not reading out my poem.
Yeah.
I am not reading
the guest speaker, like.
Yeah, it really put me, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to have to think on the spot here now and readjust every single thing I was going to do here tonight after hearing that poem. But it was really interesting. It was a great night. I ended up doing, he'd asked me just to perform some of my show. And so I did. I performed some of my show, and I integrated some poems and that from my show into my set. And then The only thing I was uncomfortable with was when he said, and you might come up then in the second half and do a little bit more, you know. And I was like, oh, right, okay. But I did that because, like, obviously I was being paid to do it, so I did it anyway. But I even enjoyed that part because I ended up reading out some new poems that I'm working on.
Yes, yeah.
And
that are they're currently poems, like more.
They're currently poems that need humour in them.
Yes,
do you know that kind of way?
Yeah, you'll change it up then, and your mannerisms will add the extra character to it. But they're currently poems. But like, I think your comedy style, I think they were so right. He was so right to get you to do it, in a sense that because your comedy style has all the big words in your introduction to your stuff, and like, you know, it's not, your comedy writing is quite English lyrical, or, you know, it's quite lyrical.
Thank you.
So it worked well.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You're not wrong.
But
the word you're looking for is decent.
It's best decent. But it was funny I didn't really think in it. I was just in it. And then afterwards, I was like, we were going back to the room, and I was like, whew, that was
full on.
That was full on, or something like that. And Connie was like, yeah, it was. Because it was quite intense in it, like, wasn't it?
So we did because we did the 5-word challenge, and then they had, like, so there was loads of categories for the poets across the globe, and Rory read out the category and who won it, and if the poet was there, they'd say their poem, and if it wasn't, he'd read out their poem. And then it culminated, the first act culminated with me going up then doing it didn't. After that, then he had a few local poets from, when I say local now, Munster-based poets. And one of the poets was from Cork City. He's like, as Rory says, he's full-time poeting. He's full-time poeting, and he was unbelievable, right? And then I actually had to go up after him, and I did a half an hour, and then there was a break for refreshments, and then we came back into it, and it was back into more heavy poetry, and like, you know, but it was a very chilled environment too. But I loved it though. Yeah, but I loved it. Yeah, I have to say, but it was, well, like, as I said, like, we were on. Yeah, we were on for the whole time, and so then and when I said, "Jeez, whew," that was, you know, heavy, or, you know, high work or whatever, and Connie was like, yeah, it was, and I was like, no, there is no comparison to what it was for you as what it was for me. No. I was like, my crowd are below, my type of style, my type of evening is the crowd that's below in a mosh pit, nearly dancing on chairs to bat out of hell. You know, and It's My Life by Bon Jovi. That's my lyrics. That's my lyrical tone. Not here listening to poetry. Like, you've gone to poetry. Fluttering, dancing in the breeze, continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way. They stretch a never-ending line and along the margin of the bay. Wow. It's my life. It's now or never. Yeah, but it's all poetry, Björn. It's all art. It's all art, you know? But my art and your art are a little bit different. Yes. So that was the laugh that I found anyway, that I was like, no, don't compare how you felt. And I know you were. And I was kind of, we had a few drinks now as well, which was good because we were able to drink, like you. Yeah. I had 3 pints, and you had, I don't know, you probably had 6. No, I had about 3 vodkas, but I had a bottle of wine as well floating. Yeah. And I haven't drank in ages, and the 3 pints, I was tipsy enough. I actually didn't even finish the last one, and I was kind of gagging to bring the night on, because it was over around 11. I was like, "Come on, will we go down here?" And you were like, "No, let's just go up and enjoy the room." And initially, I was like, no, let's go." But then I was like, "Yeah, the room." I was thinking about my bottle of wine above in the room. The room. And at that stage, I was drinking that kind of sexy beer. What's that one? It's not the Coors Light. They give you the special glass for it. The Amaretto or something? Something like that, yeah. It's nice anyway. I love the glass. I like the glass. And we went up and we enjoyed the room. And, yeah. We did. It was a lovely room, though. It was nice to chill out there. Yeah. But then the next morning, we had to be up early. And that was the good call, because we were probably in fucking asleep for like 12:30. We watched a bit of television and drank our drink and did whatever we did, and then we got up early the next morning. We did,
And we had the breakfast. We had a quick breakfast. We were in. Breakfast was from 8 o'clock. We were in for 8:01 because we had to be gone for 8:30.
I found a little side door to get in there. I don't think they were impressed. They were like, sorry, we're not open yet. I was like, all right. And then they just opened up then, like, as we were there.
Yeah, because it was like, I don't know why I'm looking at my time, because I looked at my time the minute we were there. And it was like...
I want to shout out, I'm a bad vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian for 7 years. I fell off the wagon of vegetarianism on the 22nd of March this year in Newcastle West. And I have been struggling since. And I have given in for the summer. I am eating meat for the summer. I have given in and I have said, I am just... given in, and my intention is to go back onto the healthy lifestyle of vegetarianism again. But for the summer, because I have been craving meat. I have been craving meat. So the reason I'm saying that is I want to shout out their breakfast. Commodore Hotel, gorgeous. The breakfast was inside in the bar. The staff were attentive. I got the full Irish. There's 3 sausages on the full Irish, right? And there was a tomato on the thing as well. I said, I don't want any tomato. Could you just get an extra sausage, please? No, like 4 sausages is a lot of sausages to give someone, like, isn't it? It's a lot of sausages. And the white and black pudding and rashers and egg was just right. And the toast and the bread and the tea and the coffee. It was just...
And it all came out very fast.
And nothing was a bother. And it was just perfect. And then we checked out, and they were lovely checking out.
And actually, I must say, it was the night before when I was getting the key, and she was like, "Oh, you're in the president's suite. What do you think of it? It's gorgeous, isn't it? We only got it done in March." And I don't think she was the owner, but she was so into it, like, it's so proud of the new rooms. Yeah. That that were done as if they were her own. Like,
you could see that the staff were like, even if they weren't own, like, because it's owner occupied, that there is a kind of a family aspect, as opposed to if you go into some of these bigger hotels where they're a part of a group of hotels. The staff are very transient as well, like, no, this was great. One thing I would knock is I thought and this is like the pillows were very big.
But you see,
I like a thin pillow.
Yeah. So I think...
And there was no option of a thin pillow. So
I think... So one of my pillows was big and one of them was smaller. And I think yours was probably the same. But you automatically just threw out one pillow.
But I said to you in the middle of the night, and you said, what about that? And then I went to the end of the bed and picked it up.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And I was like, no, it's still fucked.
Oh, so they're both too big. You like a thin pillow, yeah?
I like a thin pillow. I like my head close to the mattress, but not on the mattress.
Whereas you see people, you'd automatically think the bigger pillows are more luxurious. Yeah. That's like...
I'd be like, oh, Jesus, my neck is up very high here. And my body is down there. But yeah, all in all, though, it was a busy ass day. And we went from one...
It was busy ass 24 hours. Because we were home. It was 24 hours.
It was 24 hours, yeah.
When I left.
It really was, actually, yeah, because you were back. We were back for like 9:30, and you got out the door around
10 the day before, so it was a busy 24 hours.
You wouldn't stop.
Going.
Wouldn't stop.
It was great.
But it was and it's just indicative of how, like that for like, and we'll finish up there now because this has been a long one this week. Like, you have to make time. We have to make time for each other. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
Like, in another scenario there, you might have said, you drive on there yourself, babe, and I'll just stay here.
Well, sure, I said that to you, and you were like, no, you're coming. We have to make time for us to go away. I was like, sure, we're going to Paris in 2 weeks. You go. Why don't you go down and enjoy the facilities? Enjoy the night in a nice hotel, without having to rush, because we had to come back early. Why don't you enjoy doing a gig and just chilling out after the gig and getting up at your own pace in the morning and having a breakfast and coming back? And you were like, it was like I said, why don't you go and stab yourself in the eyeball? I got great enjoyment. Okay, I got great enjoyment of being able. I get great enjoyment of being able to share something like that with you. Yeah.
If I had to do that by myself last night, that presidential suite, by myself, I'd be going mad. I'd be going mad that you weren't there to experience
if you got that.
We went for tacos now for something to eat on the Saturday night. I'd be going mad that you weren't there with me. And I was walking along the promenade, and we had a bit of a laugh now as well. We were I made a day in the life video as well for my TikTok. I'm going to put it up on the Patreon page there after this, actually. And it was just lovely there, like for a short space of time. But it was a short space of time, and then it was back into the absolute brutal reality of raising two mad scallywags.
Yeah.
And I just think it's because do you know what? Sometimes you have to kind of insist. Come on, come on,
and it was good. It was good. I just think it was funny that we were at such, like, I thought I was doing a nice thing to you, like, because it was getting kind of complicated to try and organise, and the fact that we were coming back. But it was just so funny then that it was like as if I had said, just go shit in your hands and clap, like when I said you go off, and whereas in my head I'd be like, oh, that'll be lovely now.
It's kind of like you had that kind of reaction to the same kind of reaction. I had that reaction which was similar to your reaction when I said, sure, I'll just come up there and collect you. You be grand, just hop in there, you keep dry. You know, it was the same kind of maddening reaction or a scandalous reaction. But anyway, look, that concludes this week's episode of Conversations with Cornelius, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And now we're in 10 minutes this week.
Jesus.
Yeah, we had a lot to talk about. If you're enjoying the podcast, please tell your friends, tell your cousins, like and share and subscribe. Please give us an old review. Reviews really help us. We were into the top 100 in the charts last week. We were up in 46 at one stage last week. 46
in the comedy charts.
In the comedy podcast charts. The national charts. Also, for the next couple of weeks, there's going to be 2 podcasts coming out every week. I'm doing a preview sports podcast every single Thursday as well, which just previews the weekend ahead. So if you like sports, or if you are a person who doesn't like sports, but there's someone in your life who loves sports, you'll say, oh, listen to this. This is brilliant. Because it's going to be done with a flair of comedy madness as well. And I'll have comedians on every week. And I'm going to have a regular contributor, the Mind Guy, on pretty much every week as well. So tune into that. Please come to the show in the Cork Opera House. There's about 12 tickets gone. I don't know why I accepted this gig. I was like, okay, why am I going to do this gig? Why am I putting this pressure on myself? There's 12 tickets gone, Noelle. Please come, buy tickets to that show. Let's get 100 in there anyway. And it's not till September. What are you doing? Anything else that we need to say?
No, I don't think so.
Free Palestine. Good night, God bless, and Shtay by the wall.
Bye.